Ho, 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 ho.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Welcome to the Clinical Conversations at High Noon with the Green Nurses at Holistic Caring Network. And you know what we bring. We bring hope and inspiration for growth and healing because we are here to change the dialogue and stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, because we all deserve to feel good, all of us. So think about the word high as being H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. And we're really, really grateful to have the opportunity to be able to share our expertise in the field of cannabis as medicine. And we've been educating professionals and working with patients across the globe. So we're really, really excited to be here. Before we get started and I introduce my partner here, I'm going to show you all a little video about what we do in the cannabis space as nurses. And then we will get started.
We changed the paradigm of healthcare.
The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I'm the founder of Holistic Caring. We're based here in California, and we do educational programs and case management for patients on how to use cannabis therapeutically as a medicine.
We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high, hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing.
As the founder of Holistic Caring, I basically oversee the whole ship. And what we're doing is progressive education.
Cannabis actually supports all 11 organ systems, our immune system, and all the neurotransmitter signaling systems that give messages to tell our body to either do something or not do something. Because the plant was prohibited, it prevented health professionals, doctors and nurses from learning about cannabis as medicine.
I want to change the paradigm of healthcare and us paving the way into a new vanguard of medicine. And I'm excited to really bring this into light. There's a company called Canum that we're merging with, and we will now be doing global education.
It's about education, it's about empowerment, it's about teaching people how to feel good, bridging the gap from what they're not getting from traditional medicine, utilizing different plant medicines, adaptogens, tips, tricks, hugs, and nugs of information to support and nourish the most important system in our body.
And it's a lot of soul work, a lot of love, a lot of discipline, and meditation. I'm using my life work as a testimony to others to learn how they can be their own hero and then go help heal the world.
And we are, as nurses, the game changers.
All right, there we go. Ho, ho, ho. And so my name is Sherri, and I'm the Vice President of Nursing at Holistic Caring and the Green Nurse. And I'm a cannabis nurse, patient advocate, activist, and a podcaster here to change the paradigm of healthcare with a team of amazing nurses and health professionals around the globe. Yeah. So people are making great medicines, people are selling these amazing medicines, yet no one's truly educating patients on how to use cannabis as medicine. And that's what we do. So I want to introduce my business partner and co-host for our monthly clinical conversations, Elisabeth Mack. She is the CEO and founder of Holistic Caring Network, where all of the Green Nurses operate out of. And she's also the Director of Clinical Affairs at Canum in Australia. And we're excited to be helping them to build global clinics to help more people. We just launched Lemire Clinic, and we're going to get into that in a minute. Canum America has started. The mission has begun. So Elisabeth, you know, this is why we do what we do. This is why we get so excited. So Elisabeth has identified 4 Ds and 4 Ps and the solution.
Yeah.
So Elisabeth, say hello to the viewers.
Hey, I'm Elisabeth. And so, yeah, you know, I mean, we've been working in cannabis medicine 8 years each, right? And I was in San Diego, she was in Boston, and we both saw the problems inherent in the cannabis industry and cannabis healthcare, right? So in healthcare, you know how we have an ecosystem, an HMO, everybody, all the dots are connected. Not so in cannabis. There's disorganization. We have 37 legal states and a patchwork of laws. We have distrust. People aren't necessarily lining up to put their credibility into the industry, the people, the products. There is a disconnect between the dispensary, the doctors, and the patients. That should be all linked up and they know what each other's doing, but that doesn't happen. And then dosing. People do better when you have clinical guidance to really sculpt what this treatment plan looks like and what the outcomes are. So we've overcome that with our 4 Ps. Process to get products to give patients programs, right? So we're giving professionalism to the whole thing and making sure that patients are supported with one-on-one care in the nurse line, and that they have programs that they can take so that they can understand how cannabis can work as a medicine with them, and vetted products, because it is all about the quality of these medicines. And we'll break that down in a minute.
Absolutely. So here we are, right? The ABCs of CBD. So you can make good choices this holiday season, right?
Yeah.
Elisabeth wrote an amazing program called CBD for Wellness. And we're going to go over that, like not as a deep of a dive as she does in her program, but just really going to go over this a little bit more in detail so you all can truly understand it. So you've seen the TV reports, you've read about it in the news, or perhaps you've seen it on store shelves, in gas stations, or maybe you heard it's good for your pet. So as we know, there's a lot of people that are reporting benefits of using CBD to manage pain, insomnia, anxiety, epilepsy, tremors, digestive upset, and more. I mean, the list goes on. And so, can this truly be real, right? Yes, right? The therapeutic properties of CBD are numerous, and we're going to dive into that, and diverse. And they're now being confirmed by modern research. So best of all, CBD may be able to replace some conventional medications or decrease doses of pharmaceuticals that carry significant risks and numerous side effects. I came off of 18 pharmaceuticals using cannabis as medicine. So let me pull this up here, and we're going to get started. The ABCs of CBD. So the first question people ask is, what is CBD?
Well, CBD is a cannabinoid, right? CBD is a phytocannabinoid from the cannabis plant, phyto from plant. And it is basically, we have a delineation between cannabis CBD, hemp CBD, and, isolate CBD. And so when we're looking at CBD, the molecule is the same, a cannabinoid molecule. This is it, the structure right here. And if you get CBD from a cannabis plant, it's going to have much more of the THC present in that strain, that chemovore, that flower. So it's going to have 0.3% or greater THC. Hemp plants are 0.3% or less THC. And those can be sold online in the hemp markets. And because of the 2018 Farm Bill, we now have hemp laws all over the country. And isolate CBD is just taking that CBD, isolating it into it's just pure powder form, and having it without any of the entourage effect of the other cannabinoids and nutrients in this plant. So that is CBD. We'll break down.
We're going to break it down a little bit more. So if CBD is a cannabinoid found in the cannabis plant and the hemp plant, well, what is a cannabinoid, right? That's the next question I would ask. And so this is a really detailed slide that we're going to break down. So cannabinoids are a group of molecules, all of them, that interact with the receptors of the endocannabinoid system. And we're going to get into the endocannabinoid system in a minute. So Cannakeys is a site that we use all the time, and they have a definition of a cannabinoid. It's a chemical compound that interacts with the human body, producing a measurable effect in body, mind, and emotion, such as relaxation, improved resilience to stress, neuroprotection, or pain management, analgesia, for instance. So Elisabeth, what are the 3 different types of cannabinoids? And we mentioned this briefly, but we're going to get a little bit more into deep detail.
So there are 3 different types of cannabinoids. One is the endocannabinoids that were identified that we make endogenously. Endo, like endorphins, endocannabinoids, anandamide, ananda Sanskrit for bliss, that supreme state of joy or well-being, and then 2-AG. And we'll talk about receptors, but basically activates the cannabinoid receptor 1 and 2-AG cannabinoid receptor 2-AG. The phytocannabinoids are harvested from the plant, and they are able to activate the CB1, CB2 as well. And THC is a direct agonist of both of them. So the phytocannabinoids, THC, CBD, these are from the plant, the resinous glands of the plant in the trichomes. And then there's synthetic cannabinoids. And synthetics are the ones that the pharmaceutical industry has created that are all FDA approved. And they are man-made compounds in the lab to represent one single molecule. So THC just straight up. So just like isolate CBD, isolate THC is Marinol. And then there's another one called Epidiolex, which is CBD, as well as Sativex. Sativex is a botanical formulation, 1-to-1, we can talk about later as well. But, all of these cannabinoids interact with the endocannabinoid system. And when you activate the endocannabinoid system, the ECS, then we can have reactions in the body. And there are I don't know how many molecular targets are in the body.
Over 70 at least.
Yeah, we were talking about how many in the body, period, though. It must be thousands. But CBD is active on at least 70 of these receptor targets. And what that means is pleiotropic.
Word.
One of the things when I was educating patients back in, 5-6 years ago, I love the word pleiotropic and teaching that to an audience, because when you take a pill, you have pleiotropic benefits the wrong way. Oftentimes you get all these side effects. You have a couple of desired benefits, and then you have all these side effects. That's pleiotropic in the wrong way, activating many things simultaneously, right? Cannabis activates all of these different receptor targets simultaneously in a good way. So when you take some CBD for pain, you're also going to have relaxation, better sleep, better appetite, better mood, better stress response, resilience, less inflammation, better blood pressure, all of this collateral benefits. Instead of getting collateral damage, we can have collateral benefits with cannabinoids.
Yep. And CBD in particular is the great influencer. It's the most abundant, non-impairing cannabinoid that's found in the plant. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the minor cannabinoids when we dive into the different products, right? And these all have a medicinal therapeutic effect in the body. So CBD is a cannabinoid. CBD is a cannabinoid found in cannabis and hemp. Cannabinoids are molecules that interact with the endocannabinoid system. Now let's dive into what is the endocannabinoid system. And this is probably one of my favorite slides. Pretty much like when I started to educate and teach, I would be at events with patients, events with health professionals, and they would say, Sherri, this is really abstract. I'm having a hard time understanding the endocannabinoid system. So I kind of tried to break it down a little bit. And I came up with the Green Nurses umbrella. I actually, when I teach, I bring the umbrella to teach and I pop it up. And the reason why is because it makes sense and it shows the interconnectedness of our body. So I want you to think of the endocannabinoid system as a switchboard. It is the largest neurotransmitter signaling system in our body that give messages to all of our organ systems to do something or stop doing something. It is a communication system. So the endocannabinoid system is the master system. And so think about the umbrella as your body. All of the spokes of the umbrella are your different organ systems. As you can see here, you have your central nervous system, endocrine, circulatory, respiratory, integumentary, skin, reproductive, lymphatic, digestive, urinary, skeletal, muscular system, and the immune system. So just think this is our body. Now you have messenger signaling systems that you've all heard of. Serotonin signaling, dopamine signaling, opioid signaling, and there's a lot of other signaling systems, but these are at different areas throughout the body. And these are the fabric pieces of the umbrella. The neurotransmitter signaling systems, all of them are the fabric pieces, and they give messages to the spokes of the umbrella, our different organ systems, to do something with the goal of keeping everything in balance. Right? So we have cannabinoid receptors on all of the cell surfaces of all of our organ systems. And we have cannabinoid receptors at the neurotransmitter signaling junction site. So just imagine all these little receptors that are looking for endocannabinoids. So like we said before, we produce molecules in our body very similar to the plant. And we're going to get into this next one in a minute, but we produce anandamide and 2-AG, like Elisabeth said, upon demand. So imagine an on-off switch. Something's going on in your circulatory system, your reproductive system, your digestive system. Things are happening all day long. And the endocannabinoid system responds and reacts to stress or changes in our body, which triggers the release of these endocannabinoid system. And the goal is to correct the signaling,
Imbalance.
right? Get everything back to balance. And so when we're looking at agonists versus antagonists, agonist tells the body what to do. Let's go, put the gas on. Antagonist is woo, let's put the brake on a little bit on a process. And we see that throughout the body all the time, on, off, on, off. So we have an endocannabinoid system, not because of the cannabis plant, but because we make molecules in our body very similar to the plant. Now we're going to get into this powerful slide that I love.
So THC is actually an anandamide mimicker, and 2-AG as well. So the plant makes THC, the body makes anandamide, and here's our CB1 receptor. This will plug in. Either one of them fit that. So imagine you're at a hotel and somebody has a master key to go in all of the different rooms. That's how THC is in the body at these cannabinoid receptors. And I like to talk about them like a doorbell, right? You ring the doorbell on the outside of a house, something happens inside, right? The people are running around, they either answer the door, they hide, whatever, but something happens, right? So you ring that doorbell, you activate that receptor, and now we have flow of activity. And usually it's dimming something down because the body is running overactive all the time. The stress response runs high. We are always stretched to the max. We all know that. And we need the endocannabinoid system to tap us down and help us cope with what's going on externally, right? Internal homeostasis despite external issues, right? So we have all of this was discovered back in the 60s in Israel. The NIH here was funding the scientists in Israel, Raphael Meshulam and Lumir Hannes, discovered anandamide and 2-AG back in 1992. The receptors in the 80s, once we got radioactive imaging, and we put it together and discovered that this switchboard is like having an operator making sure, listening to everything and making sure that the messages get back and forth and the body stays just at ease. And that's really what it does.
It absolutely does. So, you think about here. So the other thing too on the slide, if you think about neurotransmitter signaling systems, receptors all throughout the body, we have more CB1 and CB2 receptors in our body than any other, right? And this is what's providing the feedback to balance all of our cells at the cellular level, correct signaling between all cells to keep our umbrella going up and down nicely.
Yeah. And I missed that one. You think about dopamine receptors, they're in the brain and they control specific functions and motivation and mind and memory, etc. So the endocannabinoid receptors are all over the place because they control every physiology in the body, much like the umbrella.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So here we go. One of my next favorite slides. So just think about this. Go back to the umbrella, right? Endocannabinoid system switch going on and off, releasing these molecules to keep our body in balance. What happens if we don't produce enough of our own internal endogenous cannabinoids? Messages don't get where they need to go, and then we start to have a breakdown. So the basic function of the endocannabinoid system was summarized in 1998 by Professor DiMarzo as what? Relax, eat, sleep, forget, and protect, right? So homeostasis is our body's ability to get back into balance or functioning optimally in response to that stressor outside of our body that impacts our internal physiological processes. So it's a balance between three functions, right? Cannabinoid receptors on the cell surfaces. We're either making too many or not enough, right? The internal endogenous cannabinoids that we make, the anandamide and the 2-AG, we're either making too many or not enough. And the enzymes that degrade the endocannabinoids that we make, it's the same. There's either too many, we're breaking it down too fast, or not enough. So as you can see here, this is so important. It's a fine balance. And the endocannabinoid system isn't only enriched and toned by cannabis, but by multiple other things. You know, cannabinoid therapeutics is much more than just cannabis, because everything that we tell a patient to do or not do affects the endocannabinoid system. So you can see conditions associated with the endocannabinoid system: chronic pain, fibromyalgia, migraines, autoimmune disorders, Alzheimer's, dementia, irritable bowel, Crohn's colitis, multiple sclerosis, Parkinson's, obesity, diabetes, metabolic disorders, anxiety, insomnia, depression, PTSD, autism, epilepsy, Huntington's disease, Tourette's, ADHD, cachexia, anorexia, cancer, tumors, and then all of the symptoms that are associated with it. If you're suffering from symptoms of nausea, vomiting, intractable pain, migraines, headaches, you have to start
IBS.
looking at your endocannabinoid system. Right? What are we doing to support it, and what are we not doing?
Yeah. And you know, when I think about that slide, it's like the body doesn't have enough resources, right? When you're getting all of these conditions, the body's not auto-correcting. It's not fixing itself as it's supposed to. And you know, and why is that happening? You know, why do we get endocannabinoid system deficiency? Sherri likes to say,
Fast food, fried food, fake food, artificial flavors, artificial coloring, trans fat, hydrogenated oils,
right?
high fructose corn syrup, and sugar.
Yeah, and
There you go.
as we age, we're chock full of these. You know, when we're young and everything's working, but as we age, we start to lose our receptors. We start to lose our ability to synthesize these. They're made out of healthy fatty acids when we eat the right diet. So if we're not eating good nutrition, we're not able to make the endocannabinoids and the other fatty acids to fine tune and modulate all of these receptors to keep us in health and balance. So we need to be eating well. We need to be moving. Exercise is the number one way to upregulate this system in your body. Good cardiovascular exercise, 10, 15 minutes a day.
Motion is the lotion.
Yep. And because it stimulates the runner's high is endocannabinoids, not endorphins, right? But also getting enough sleep, getting enough rest, turning off, and being able to set boundaries and limitations and have that self-care, safe space. That is what is going to keep us healthy. Touch, laughter, some of the things we don't even think about.
Like,
and
you know, look how cute this is. Light it up. Tell me this doesn't bring a smile to your face.
She picked it out. So anyway, you know, we all need to take good care of ourselves and our ECS, and good, healthy, wholesome living is what does a body good.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. So here we go. So this is another one of my favorite slides. So if the endocannabinoid system is the most important system in our body, right, it makes sense that we take care of that system, and it's much more than cannabis. So if you look at this list, cannabis is at the very bottom, right? Food is medicine, nutrient-dense whole foods, adaptogens, supplements that support the system, regular exercise, and there are supplements that actually activate these CB1 and CB2 receptors. And there's a ton of them, and we can talk about that in a minute. Supplements, regular exercise, Elisabeth said, motion is the lotion. Stress management, meditation, breath work, mind-body medicine, massage, social connections, limiting alcohol. Alcohol is huge. Alcohol is toxic to all 11 organ systems in our immune system. It truly, they did a research study. When someone drinks alcohol, the brain gets scared and starts to produce receptors looking for the anandamide to protect it. So alcohol is huge. Smoking, nicotine, not good. Restorative sleep and laughter. So really, really looking at multiple different things. And if you're doing those things, you might need CBD. You may need a little cannabis or CBD if things aren't helping. Oftentimes, too, patients that come to us can't do any of these things. So they start with the cannabis and the CBD. Once they start to feel better, they're able to use the other tools, tips, and tricks to manage and nourish their endocannabinoid system, so their cannabis requirements actually go down. But we'll step into that in a minute. So supporting. So this is a really good one. And this is for the people that are new out there. You know, what we're finding as we start to expand globally is that there's still a lot of stigma out there. People are still afraid. You know, they look at cannabis because it's on a Schedule 1, which means what? It has no medicinal value.
Highly addictive, dangerous, and abusive.
There you go.
But it's not. And this is the height of hypocrisy. The federal government in 2003 took out a patent on cannabidiol as neuroprotectant and antioxidant. So what is a neuroprotectant? Essentially, it's going to be able to protect cells, tissues, and DNA from damage and decay following ischemic insults, injuries. So you have a stroke, you have a head injury, you have a concussion, something like that, or in the treatment of neurodegenerative diseases as the brain is shrinking and aging and it's sick. We talked about that last month. Metabolic syndrome triggers neuroinflammation in the brain and shuts things down. The phytonutrients, CBD, might be able to provide some neuroprotection and the antioxidants to be able to scurry up all those free radicals causing damage. So this is a patented molecule by the US government. So they know that it's extremely healthy for us.
Yep, absolutely. So here we go. And while we're up here, listen, if you go to holisticcaring.com, we have a free 7-page medical cannabis guide. I just thought I would plug that for the viewers. And here we go. We're going to get into the power couple.
Now we get into the phytocannabinoids.
Yeah, and some of the other ones. So, you think about it here. We have THC and CBD, the power couple. We need them both, right? So if you remember the slides before, the plant makes THC, we make anandamide, and the molecular structure is very, very similar. The THC molecule is the THC molecule is 10 times stronger than our anandamide molecule. So we don't need a lot, but we do need a little of it. So, and here's the other myth that I want to dispel. A lot of people that come to us as patients that are using cannabis, a lot of THC, they're afraid of CBD because they think it's going to ruin their high. So it doesn't. I guarantee you, I've been doing this for a long time. We've done a lot of research and development on ourselves and have looked at all of this clinically, not only with ourselves, real world evidence, a lot of the patients we work with, but even science. So THC enhances the efficacy of CBD without taking away the medicinal effect. It mitigates or softens. CBD mitigates, modulates, softens THC on the brain. So you don't feel so high, right?
Some of those effects that people are afraid of, right? Any changes to perception, balance, memory, mood, they're afraid of being outside of their normal control state, right? And so, but when you have small doses of THC, CBD softens that. And I worked with a lot more seniors than Sherri did. Nobody said, I don't want to dampen my high. They're like, I don't want to be high. I don't want THC. And I said, well, you absolutely need some THC, but we're only going to use 1 milligram or 2, and we're going to bathe it with CBD so that we can get both into you, so that we can have better outcomes. And they never complain, because that's what you want to do. A little bit of THC makes CBD much more effective.
Yeah, and there's ways to do it. There's ways to use it to mitigate side effects. And when we talk about that, we look at ratios, right? CBD to THC ratios. Everyone's sweet spot is a little bit different. My tolerance, and it's different for everyone, is a 1-to-1. If I do more THC than CBD, I start to feel more elevated. As long as I have equal amounts of THC and CBD, I'm pretty good. And that's different for everyone. And so when we're looking at chemotypes, this is a lot of things. Chemovars is the whole plant, the cannabinoids, the terpenes, everything in the plant. But the chemotypes actually look at the different ratios. So chemotype 1 is what? More THC than CBD. Chemotype 2 is equal amounts of CBD and THC, and chemotype 3 is more CBD than THC. So that's the full spectrum products.
Yeah, and if you're looking at ratio products, so a chemotype 3 would be a 20-to-1, 30-to-1 high CBD. A chemotype 2 is a 1-to-1. A chemotype 1 is like a 1 to 10, like all THC.
Yeah.
And we teach people how to use these effectively, because you really do need both to have that entourage effect, and CBD and THC attached to different receptors in the body. We talked about CBD activating maybe 70 different receptor targets. It acts as an assist, seeing what the body needs and nudging all of the receptors as needed to bring back balance and homeostasis. THC is much more strategic. It's going to go to those CB1, CB2 receptors and accomplish a goal, again, what the body needs.
Yep.
However, it's going to be much more focused.
Yeah.
So CBD is that warm blanket. So let's talk more about
Yep. The power couple,
yeah,
THC, CBD, and now we're going to get into some of the minor cannabinoids and different formulations that are on the market. And we're going to introduce to you all Lumiere CBD.
Yeah. One of the best things about the modern chemistry that we have nowadays is that it allows us to mix and match and shuffle these phytonutrients, these cannabinoids together into targeted symptom relieving formulations, right? And so these phytonutrients, these cannabinoids, the minor cannabinoids, they all have different therapeutic potential, right? Because they have different pharmacodynamics, which means they activate things a little bit differently. If not every doorbell is going to be run exactly the same. Sometimes you just hit the bottom, sometimes you touch the top, sometimes you touch the side, sometimes you hog the whole thing, right? And that's kind of what these cannabinoids do in the body as they're running around activating things. But when we put them together, we can have symptom targeted formulas that provide benefits for daytime, nighttime, pain, energy, sleep, metabolism, focus. So it's a beautiful world in getting to formulate these beautiful products.
Well, that's what we're going to introduce in the next couple of slides. So Elisabeth, we're going to talk about Lumiere. So in the next couple of slides, we're going to talk about these different formulations that Elisabeth and I have created. So, at first I was like, I'm kind of nervous about creating these formulas and what are they going to think? And here's the bottom line. This isn't about me. This is about patients. People need these different types of products. Elisabeth and I have been clinicians for over 8 years each. That's 16 years experience in the cannabis space, working not only with patients, but with providers. And so what we've done is we've sourced out what patients want and need through 8 years each of working with patients, and we've created these beautiful formulations. Professor Lumiere Hannes, I'm going to let Elisabeth talk a little bit about him, but he's on our medical advisory board, and he approved of these products that we formulated over the past year. So let's talk a little bit about him.
He's a molecular biologist working with Raphael Mechoulam in the 90s and before that, even back in the 70s and 80s. But he was the guy that discovered anandamide, the brain compound CB1 activator, our own first internal endocannabinoid in 1992. And so Professor Lumiere is the namesake of all of our Lumiere formulations. And Canam is our Australian parent company with exports from Australia into the EU and the UK, Canada, going to be in South America and North America. And Lumiere is what we're launching here in the CBD line, just in America. And you can buy them online. You don't have to go to any dispensary. These are all hemp-based CBD that we're going to explain. So we are so proud to work with Lumiere. He's just an angel and so fun to talk to as well. Yeah, just a charming guy.
And we are going to have him on the podcast sometime next year as we go forward with a mission that's secret right now. We have a secret mission. We have a secret mission, Lumiere mission. Okay, so here's another, we're going to jump into topicals really quickly. Okay. So a lot of people that are new to cannabis, they don't know where to start. And my mother was one of those. She was not into cannabis. She blocked me on Facebook, wrote me out of her will. But once she started watching the podcast, she was like, okay, I'm ready to try. But she was scared. And so we needed to start with a product that was very easy, simple to incorporate into her life and wouldn't be impairing, because that's what the fear is with these older people. So topicals are a great introduction to cannabis therapy because it acts locally, it's non-impairing, and it's easy to incorporate into healing routines. And so there's unique phytochemicals that a lot of formulators use, and we've done them, and cannabinoids found in the plant that provide therapeutic healing, while terpenes found in cannabis contribute to the medicinal effect. So terpenes give cannabis its smell, its flavor, and they do have medicinal effects. So essential oils are often added into topicals for fragrance, aromatherapy, as well as contributing to that entourage effect. So this product here works on cannabinoid receptors CB1 and CB2 in our skin, and they're absorbed locally to reduce inflammation, pain, swelling, and they do provide other benefits to the skin. So let's talk about the products and what's in here. So we have 1,500 milligrams of full spectrum whole plant. And the primary terpene in that plant, in the topical is beta-caryophyllene, also known as BCP. And beta-caryophyllene is a natural substance that's found in many common foods, plants such as hops, cloves, black pepper, oregano, and these are also in our tincture formulation. So research shows that beta-caryophyllene is highly effective binding to the CB2 receptors on our nerve and immune cells. So this is effective. BCP is effective both orally and topically in helping with the overreacting immune conditions that cause the inflammation and pain. And so, like I said, we do have BCP formulations, BCP in all of our formulations.
Yeah, especially this topical, right? So you've got cannabinoid CBD and some CBG in here as well, both very anti-inflammatory. Now you pull in beta-caryophyllene, also anti-inflammatory. Now you put in the terpenes that we also have in here. Arnica, comfrey oil, and calendula, all very anti-inflammatory, antibacterial, good for the skin, good for just really some analgesia and some soreness and turning down some of that inflammation so you can move freely.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
topicals are a great way to start. And this product, like I said, Elisabeth and I have formulated. And one of the things, as a patient, when you're using these products, we looked at it from a clinician perspective and a patient perspective. And specifically, I'm not going to lie, the scent is amazing. It has a little bit of vanilla to it. There's bergamot in it, a little bit, tiny bit of orange oil, tiny bit. It reminds me of Wrigley's gum. So if you, it's just a really nice.
Yeah,
really
we
nice.
tried a version with some menthol, and that was not so pleasant.
The
So
menthol
this
was
one,
horrible.
you're gonna love the scent.
And this, like I said, we've been formulating these for over a year.
And I love how it just rubs in, and it's non-greasy. I've had 3 shoulder surgeries, and topical was my introduction to cannabis way back when. So,
Yeah. All
okay,
right, so here
what's
we go.
next?
All right, recover. So if you listen, here you go. If you're new to cannabis and you have pain, this is another really great product to dive into. And we're going to talk about a little bit what's in it.
Yeah.
So as we know, inflammation is what? The number one reason why people hurt.
So yeah, you can alleviate your discomfort and your soreness, aches and pains with Recover. And so what is Recover? We have 1,200 milligrams of full spectrum hemp CBD, activating all of those targets in the body to tune down some of the pain signaling, some of the inflammation, and really softening the nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
We have CBG, giving a little bit of energy, a little anti-anxiety, a little good gut health and healing. CBG is very good for the digestive system. And CBN, which is calming to the nervous system. CBN can be a little sedating, but this is, again, in very small quantities in this. But just toning down the brain chemistry that says I'm in pain. We want to tell the brain there's no pain, right? And when we put this combination together, we can do that. Then we fold in the terpenes. Again, there's going to be beta-caryophyllene and some linalool to calm things down, as well as the botanicals of turmeric, ginger, and frankincense. So frankincense, boswellia, all good, anti-inflammatory, Middle Eastern spices and oils that have always been used for pain and inflammation. So that is Recover.
Let's Recover. And one of the things I want to mention about Recover, which is important, a little bit more on CBG. We'll probably dive into this a little bit more. But CBG actually helps us to produce our own anandamide molecules. So remember how we said THC, anandamide, same molecular structure. So it can help us to produce that on our own. And then the CBD, if we're producing our own anandamide molecule, CBD helps protect it from being broken down by the Fa enzyme. So that's important. So a lot of times with people that are new, this is a really, really good product. And like I said, we've been testing it out. All right, let's get into the next one.
Relax.
Relax. I went back too fast.
There you go. There's
All
relax.
Right, here we go. Relax. Anxiety, right? What does anxiety do? It causes a stress response and it promotes inflammation in our body. So here you go. Here's the commercial. Unwind your mind and soothe your body with Relax, our solution to help you reset and renew. Managing stress resilience and improving sleeps are what is keys to living well. In this formulation is perfect for that.
Yeah, and we think about managing stress response just in the moment when we're managing stress. I had to talk to Citibank this morning. Not a good, like seriously, I was hung up on 3 times, transferred 4 times, and I still never resolved my issue. I need CBD. I need to relax. I need CBD, CBN, CBDA. all of them are very calming to the neurochemistry in the brain, to all of those molecular targets, softening things. And then think about how our body functions the best. Rest and digest, the parasympathetic nervous system. These phytocannabinoids help bring us back into that nice sense of calm, where we have agency, where we can think, where we can function, where we feel like, okay, I got this, instead of chaos, right? It brings us down and gives us that grounding that we need to better operate. And then our body works better, right? So, and when we talk about the different cannabinoids in here,
yeah.
so you want to go?
Yeah, I do. I just want, here we go. CBD, 1200 milligrams, works on all of those targets, including the neurotransmitter in the brain to what? To calm and provide relief, relaxation. The CBN, like Elisabeth said, is very calming. It's a neuroprotectant and it does have sedating properties, but if that's dose dependent. So all of these things are biphasic, meaning low doses do one thing, higher doses do something else. The other ingredient that's in here, one of the cannabinoids, which is really important to me, is CBDA. Okay, so you think about it. Stress promotes inflammation. CBDA is an anti-inflammatory. It's a COX-2 inhibitor, right? It has anti-inflammatory effects without ruining your gut. So there's a lot of COX-2 inhibitors that exist that are anti-inflammatories that can really destroy gut health.
Motrin. Ibuprofen, Aleve. I was on many of them. And the other thing I discovered, I was taking something for high blood pressure when I had all of that inflammation and Motrin in my body. I was taking 2,400 milligrams of Motrin a day. And I ended up on hydrochlorothiazide because my blood pressure was 150/90. Now that I don't take any Motrin anymore, I'm 110/70.
And she's lit up.
But people don't realize that,
They
right?
don't.
And so we need to rest and relax, and we need to sleep better. And my favorite time to try this would be a little dose, probably after dinner for a first time.
timer.
Just get yourself nice and calm and relaxed. It's not going to immediately put you to sleep, but it's going to help your stress response so that when you go to bed, you'll fall asleep more naturally.
And this is where the other botanicals come in. Okay, really, really cool. So the botanicals that are in here, ashwagandha, lemon balm, rosemary, lavender. So ashwagandha is an adaptogen, right? And it helps our bodies to adapt to stress. So one of the things I like to compare it to is B vitamins. Bathe the central nervous system, right? If you're feeling stressed out, B vitamins calm you. If you're not having energy, B vitamins kind of give you a little energy to boost your metabolism. So we look at ashwagandha in the same way. It's an adaptogen that's added in that adds to the therapeutic potential of the tincture. And here we go. Here's the next one.
Okay, reinforce your health and your immune system this winter with your reinforce. Immune function and managing inflammation are critical to healing, and you can restore and revitalize your immune system and build resilience with reinforce, our solution to help you adapt to life's challenges and optimal wellness. So what's in reinforce? What's special about this? Again, we start with the 1,200 milligrams of full spectrum hemp CBD, working on all those 70 targets in the body and being that assist at all of those receptors, helping us keep more of our own anandamide working and staying calm. So CBDA, again, we've got that anti-inflammatory, but then we pull in CBGA, same thing, but now these are working together to really boost the immune system in a different way. Both are being tested in research, said to be about 10 times more potent than CBD and CBG. And these are also the acidic precursors to that. So when we harvest a plant and we just are looking at those trichomes in that plant, that is going to be CBDA, CBGA, before it's been processed, heated, cooked, burned, or extracted, right? So when we have the acidic compounds, it's able to do a little bit more different things in the body. And so we put this together to really be anti-inflammatory and anti-stress, and to really help with gut health as well, because all of these work together. Yep. The botanicals in here are the mushrooms. So we've got chaga and reishi, both good for immune health as well as cognition, getting you to think straight, getting you to feel like you're functioning. Mushrooms are very good for so many different things. And then echinacea is able to actually fine-tune the ECS and provide that immune support. A lot of people take extra echinacea during the winter. We wanted to include that as one of the botanicals here.
Yeah, it activates CB2 receptors, which is what
Mhm.
decreasing stress, helping gut health, right? Inflammation, the immune system.
Yeah.
So this is reinforced
Yeah.
now.
And
And we got a slide here for
there
you
is
all.
it's a bonus slide.
Bonus.
So last year, this professor, Richard Van Bremen, up in Oregon, Oregon State University, was working on COVID and looking at how to shut down that SARS virus that can get into the cells, the spike protein. Apparently, CBDA together can help to prevent some of that. They bind to that spike protein so that it cannot get into the cells and cause damage in the body. So this is, it's what, December 14th. We want to stay healthy all winter long. This is something that I take on a daily basis just for my well-being. But if you're struggling with autoimmune conditions or serious illness, cancer, you absolutely want to think about adding this to your daily regime just for that protection.
Yep. Completely agree.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. And here's the thing, what I love. Someone described the spike protein of the thing, the COVID virus. And they said, just imagine cannabis oil coming in and putting a protective coating around it so it can't get into the cell. Right?
Which is reinforce.
Right.
You look at the bottle, we on the
Reinforce.
design, we put a shield on it to reinforce yourself. So that's reinforce.
It's reinforce.
Okay.
Okay, and here we go. Refocus. How many people out there have ADHD?
OCD.
How many people out there have OCD?
I'm OCD. She's ADD. Refocus helps us both.
Truly does. I mean, you have to think about, in positive psychology, what a flow state is known as being what? In the zone. It's a mental state in which a person is performing some activity and is fully immersed in a feeling of what? Energized, focused, full involvement, and enjoying the process of the activity without feeling stressed, right? So a lot of times people that have OCD and ADHD, our focus becomes off, right? And so Refocus Tincture provides focus, concentration, clarity, energy, and it boosts metabolism for an energized life. So let's discuss the ingredients here.
Okay. So we've got our 1,200 milligrams of full spectrum hemp CBD. We've got 200 milligrams of CBG. So CBG, again, anti-inflammatory, analgesia, works with the gut, healing the microbiome, promotes anandamide, and it can be a little stimulating. So that's why we added CBG in this proportion for the Refocus. And then THCV. THCV is known to be an appetite suppressant found in South African strains like Durban poison. And THCV can be used to be stimulating, energizing, giving you that focused energy, as well as boosting the metabolism. THCV is being studied as something that can help with diabetes, both in type 1, in helping the insulin cells remain vital, and in type 2, improving insulin sensitivity and getting into the cells rather than keeping that glucose in the bloodstream. So helping normalize sugars over time. Again, this is all in research, but we're finding people that take this are able to have more focused energy, and over time, do a check, do a weigh-in once a month, and take this every day and see what the trends are in blood pressure and blood glucose and how you're feeling.
Yep. And then the other thing that I love about this formulation is the botanicals, right? So red ginseng, ginkgo, green tea, it's an antioxidant and it's for learning and memory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
We want all of those to stimulate the hippocampus and work with those memory centers. And then humulene is the different wild card in this one on the terpenes. We've had linalool, beta-caryophyllene, myrcene, and pinene, and all of them. This one, we switched out terpinolene, which can be a little more sedating, for humulene, which is more energizing. So this is definitely your morning blend.
Yeah. Really nice. Okay.
So let's refocus.
So we have 4 tinctures, 1 topical, right, that we just went through. Recover, refocus, relax, reinforce, and relieve. So now we're going to talk about shopping for safe CBD. Now, not only do we have our own product formulations that we're utilizing and promoting, but we also promote other companies. And the reason why is because we've been in the space, like I said, for 16 years between us, working with patients. We've sourced out what patients want and need, and we bring it to them. And part of what that means is using different formulations and different companies to help patients truly get what they need so they can start to feel better and engage in life again. So we vet products. So
Yeah,
basically,
we do the analysis so you don't have to. So when something's Green Nurse approved, we know that it was USA grown. The company is doing transparent business practices. Some are organic certified. Some have GMP, good manufacturing practices, which botanical supplements need to use. And they all need to be lab tested to have that certificate of analysis so that we know the potency, the purity, that it's free from contaminants, any kind of heavy metals or pesticides, etc. All of this needs to be done correctly. So don't buy that $20 bottle at the gas station. You want to make sure that you're buying good quality CBD. So it's expensive to create, and make sure that your company is not making any false claims. We're trying to back up everything we do with research. So when we put our formulations together and we give you all of those links, it's the reason why we put those formulations together. These cannabinoids, these terpenes, and these botanicals should be doing certain things. And we can just make that assumption.
we can. And so here we go. Give the gift of cannabis education and CBD. We are here for you, truly here for you. So there's couple of things that we want to let you all know about. So Elisabeth has created, where's your book? Elisabeth has written a book called Cannabis for Health.
Become a coach.
And from this amazing book, she created programs. And the programs are absolutely amazing. And so basically she has a sale. Thanks 25% off all programs.
Yeah, and it started with the healthcare professionals program. So the cannabis health coach, but then we also break out the cannabis industry professional, take out the pharmacology and make it a little more industry focused, and the CBD wellness coach, as well as all of our individual patient programs, cannabis and cancer, autoimmune, mental health, dementias, Parkinson's, MS, autism, epilepsy, because we want you to have the research and the protocols and the intelligence on how to move forward with whatever is particular to you.
Yes.
So all of them are on sale this month with the code THANKS25.
Great. And if you're new to cannabis, right, and you're not sure and you have questions, you know, we have a free network with the Green Nurses at Holistic Caring. So if you go to holisticcaring.com, the very first thing you're going to say is join the network. It's free. It's run by nurses. We have an amazing medical assistant who is a pharmacist, Charmaine. Hi, Charmaine. We love you. And so she's in the network, and we have a free introductory to Cannabis Course, patient portal, support, and all of our webcast podcasts and learning modules are there. So join that.
Join the network and make sure you get that free 7-page guide when you sign up for our newsletter online.
Yeah.
And then shop the Green Nurse approved CBD marketplace, where we are debuting and featuring Lumiere with a sale. So what's the sale? So if you go to lumiereclinic.com or you click on Lumiere in the CBD marketplace shop at holisticcaring.com, you can put in holiday 20 at your checkout and save 20% all this month on our Lumiere CBD formulations. So whatever spoke to you, you can put them in your basket and save 20%.
And the best thing that comes with that is it comes with a free nurse. Woohoo!
The free nurse line.
The free nurse line.
You give us a call. We'll answer your questions and help point you in the right direction. Do you what do you need a program? What products are going to be most suitable for you and your particular needs on getting started? Or maybe you need to sit down with one of our nurses and go through a deep dive coaching session where we really break it down and explain it to you, look at your pharmaceuticals, look at your conditions and your goals and objectives, and really make a personalized plan for you. Because as you can see, this is personalized medicine. Yep. It's a little different for everybody. We all have an endocannabinoid system, all 8 billion of us, but each of us is going to respond a little bit differently. So that's why we have our nurse coaching, to make sure that we can dial it in for you.
Yep. And for the nurses that are watching out there, we are going to be needing your help with this nurse line. Next year, as our secret mission gets launched, we're going to need more nurses. So reach out to us and we can send you information on our nurse line opportunities.
Mhm.
So this has been an amazing show. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Always a great hour to spend with you in our clinical conversations, the ABCs of CBD. We hope you understood the endocannabinoid system, the endocannabinoids, phytocannabinoids, how they all work together to bring us back into balance and well-being, because you want to live your best life.
And so do we. And that's what we're here for. So remember, everyone, what it's all about. It's truly about living your best life and helping others do the same. We will see you next year. Actually, we might have a surprise. We're traveling east to be with Nurse Jamie Rollins and Nurse Carrie Lee.
And Nurse
Neek. And we will maybe be going live just to say hello, because we're going to do a little nurse roundtable on Friday night. You never know. We never know. We might do a surprise. So I'm going to end with another one of my favorite videos that truly, touches my heart. Another reason of why we do what we do, and the patients that we care for and the clinicians we work with. Live your best, help others do the same. We love you.
God bless.
We're here to educate and empower patients to make choices that are best for them. We're also here to decrease stigma around what it means to feel good and be high. Hence the H for hope, I for inspiration, G for growth, and H for healing. The Green Nurse is a holistic cannabis nurse that teaches on the endocannabinoid system and the safe utilization of cannabis and other progressive tools to help people reach a better quality of life.
I was cannabis agnostic for many, many years. And the more research I did, the more I discovered that cannabis is this amazing medicine.
I was told that I had a 4-stage pancreatic cancer. The doctor really told me he couldn't do anything else. He gave me her name and she called me and she came to my house. She started to give me cannabis. My oncologist was puzzled because he couldn't find the cancer anymore.
All of the learning that we get comes from the Green Nurses Group, comes from their support, comes from their guidance. I trust everything that she says.
Simply meet people where they're at. The plant doesn't, stress to grow, so we don't stress to share it. We're healing people.
Cannabis has been used as a medicine for tens upon thousands of years. Here's the big message. Cannabis needs to be federally legal. We need to have laws that are the same across all 50 states that allow access to anyone and everyone who wants to utilize this powerful medicine.